Hello, my name is Annie Truong, and I will be talking about my concept for the potential future design for the rack building in Forkstown, Washington. After listening to stories that our clients share about their relationships and feeling about the old rack building, I feel that the old rack building was not only a place where the community comes and gathers for events, but also a place for everyone to share memories and create bonding relationship throughout different activities. Many have mentioned that the old rack building felt like a second home to them. Therefore, my intention is to create a building that is able to provide warmth and cozy feeling once entering into the space, and also a sense of being safe and sheltered from the rain and windstorms. Here is the featured image of the night rendering of the building with the surrounding context. And you can see how the building glows at night and even during a storm and still able to give the warmness vibe to it. Due to the amount of rain and southeast wind that the town gets, the best solution for roofing is slanted or angled roof. Therefore, I was thinking why not bringing the roof all the way down to the ground and also wrapping it around the building in order to create an even stronger building structure. Angle roof and overhangs are to protect pedestrians from wind and rain. The two reasons for the wrapper concept are to respond to the weather condition in Forks and the potential of future buildings if they do get built in the neighbor vacant lots on north side and south side of the building. The building's function and access would not be affected by them. Since the wrapper is wrapping in the north-south direction, most of the main spaces are pushed out towards the east and west directions in order to allow more morning and evening sunlight to come in. Central area on each floor are service spaces such as bathrooms, kitchens, and storage. Therefore, they don't require as much natural lighting. However, there are skylights that are cut through the roofs in order to provide natural lighting to come into these spaces. Here's the image of the overall building structure. The repetitive structure of the building is evenly divided throughout the space. The pink highlighted structure is the main building structure that keeps the building up. The green structures are for floorings. Since the wrapper is wrapping on the outside of the structure, you can read the language of wrapping both on the inside and outside of the building. Here are the diagrams to show how much volume of each space takes on each floor. In the upper left-hand corner is the ground floor and mainly occupied by commercial spaces. In the upper right-hand corner is the second floor and mostly occupied by the theater space. The lower left-hand corner is a small third floor occupied by the coffee area. And the lower right-hand corner is to show the connection between the floors and the stair circulations. And now I will be talking about the floor plans for each floor, starting the ground floor. The overall layout of each floor is very consistent throughout the building. The main spaces are located in west and east side of the floors. The central space in between are service spaces, and the main circulation space is located in the south side of the building. Like I have said earlier, this floor is mainly used for commercial spaces. They all have big windows wrapping all around from west to north and to east side. The purpose for that is not only for sale display or advertisement to attract customers, but also to allow as much natural light to come in as possible, since it mainly opens up to north side of the building. The ground floor is also pushed inwards by 6 feet in order to create a sidewalk next to the building and a potential overhang for it. As you can see, the dotted line indicates where the overhang of the above floor reaches out to. And now moving on to the second floor plan of the building. It is mostly occupied by the theater space, which also known as the Big Warm Beautiful Box, and the secondary space, which can also be occupied for different types of events and ceremonies. The reason for these two spaces to locate on each end of the floor plan is once again to get as much sunlight as possible and also to prevent interruption if there are two events going on at the same time. In between these two spaces, there are storage, changing room, kitchen, and mechanical shaft. And finally, here's the third floor plan, which also known as the mystery attic. On this floor plans, we have rooms for the additional storage and a cafe place for people to hang out, have conversation before or after the show. This is the longitudinal suction perspective. This section is cut through the main stair circulation in order to show the movement of the interior of the building. From the left to the right of the image, you can enter the building through the glass main entrance. You can either proceed further into the space on the ground floor to go to the central commercial space, or you can follow the stairs and go up to the second floor, which gives you the access to the theater or the secondary space. Or you can even continue ascending upward to the third floor to the mystery attic for the coffee and a conversation. Also, if you look at the left-hand side of the image, you can see that the overhangs of the building actually covers the whole public sidewalk. Here is the north-south elevation, which is also the front facade of the building, and below is the latitudinal section perspective. As you can see in the front facade perspective, I try to play around layering with different materials consists of transparent glass and wooden screen in order to let the building glow at night and create a mysterious effect that makes visitors curious and wants to come in and explore the space. The latitudinal section is cut through the theater space in order to show its relationship to the commercial space below and the main circulation on the right-hand side of the building. This is one of the interior rendering perspective to show what you would see once you enter through the main ground entrance. As you can see on the left-hand side, there is potential for gallery, artwork display, or even advertisement for a future place for the theater, and the main staircases are on the right-hand side of the rendering. Here is another interior rendering perspective to show what you will see when you stand on top of the first staircase and looking up to the third floor, and also the natural lighting condition coming in through the skylights. This is the interior rendering perspective of the coffee place. On the right hand side is the additional storage room. There are tables and chairs laying out on the floor for people to have conversation and hang out. And you can also see how the natural lighting coming in through the skylight on the ceiling. And finally, this is the interior rendering perspective of the theater space. The theater space is very flexible in terms of the layout of the audience seatings and the stage. And here I have included a couple pictures of my models. It is based on 1/16 of a scale. And there we have the protective shell concept for the new rack building. Thank you for listening.